Yes, so I'm JM Longoria, the third, that's a long name, and I'm an actor producer. Right now, I just finished the third season of the telenovela Sin Vergüenza, which I play one of the leads in that, and I also just finished producing a show which aired 2 weeks ago for the El Rey network, which is Robert Rodriguez's network, called Bushido Battleground.
Awesome. So, what are you looking forward to the most here at the Murder at the Woods?
Well, I know Luisa, director. I know Yelena, the producer. So really much like here to support them, but also commend them on creating a project that really talks about the diversity issue in Hollywood. Right, like this is one of the first um, horror thriller films which an all Latino cast, which I think is super super important. So nonetheless, here to support them and here to support the project, and hopefully there's more like that.
How important is it to have a project like this that has no Hispanic stereotypes?
I think it's very important. I think that's the thing that we're constantly fighting. And although we've made sort of a stride like towards removing that stereotype, we unfortunately still have a long way to go. And I think it comes from Latinos being even more united. I know that we come from different backgrounds and different places in the world, but I think we have a very similar connection in our culture, and that's the thing that we need to stick together with and push and push. And hopefully there are more projects, and that's what I love about those non-stereotypical roles. And like the one that I have in this telenovela is just that. He's educated. He's a lawyer in a very traditional Mexican American family, but he's the one sort of that's keeping the family together. And I think that's very very important.
Let's talk a little bit about Bushido Showdown. How'd you get involved with that project?
So I started with this production company like 3 years ago. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, I need help on set," so I just started helping him out. And slowly but surely, I started doing a little bit more roles with the company. And then we started doing these live broadcasts of MMA shows all around the world. So we have a lot of contacts with a lot of different promoters. So El Rey was looking for a show to kind of match the Lucha Underground show that they have now, and that meet some what the audience likes. And we created this show for them, and it's been a whirlwind. We've been following 40 fighters from all over the world. We've been to Thailand, Canada, Mexico, and it's really more of a docu-series. So we follow them as they're training for a specific fight. We follow them in their homes, their families. We also follow them post-fight. So what is sort of the aftermath? How do they kind of come back if they don't win the match? And what is sort of that next step for them? So I think that's really really cool. The show has a lot of heart, and I think a lot of shows out there that are within this realm don't have that. So we're really excited.
Awesome. How does this compare to something like Lucha Underground?
I think, well, as you know, lucha is a very, very specific type of sport, right? And a lot of it is within that storylines. So for us, we really had to dive into the real lives of these fighters and figure out what those stories are, and how can we express them in a way where we show them as real people, right? How can anyone watching the show connect on a human level, even though they might not have any sort of prior knowledge with the sport or discipline that they're fighting in? So in a sense, the story is that connection, but I think we're very true to like Muay Thai. We're very true to mixed martial arts, combat jujitsu, and I think that's sort of the connecting factor in that. Yeah.
Many of these MMA fighters have really, private, personal lives. Has there been any obstacles in getting some of these fighters to open up on camera?
I really commend our crew, which is actually mostly Latino. We're a very diverse crew of all ages and backgrounds. We work really well together. We really found a way to connect with these fighters where they feel open to share their stories. I mean, I remember one of the very first interviews we were doing, this very tough macho fighter from Mexico, and we just started asking him about his upbringing and sort of any other jobs that he does. And he mentioned about the fact that he had this business with his father, a kind of a tire business, and but he really wanted to pursue MMA. So he started training, and unfortunately left the business, and the business kind of fell through. So now he's dealing a lot with sort of that emotional and mindset of that relationship with his father, and that's actually his biggest sort of challenge in winning his fights. Like I still want to prove to my dad that I'm very serious about this and I have a serious career in this, but is that keeping me from reaching my goals? So he started kind of breaking down, and that was just a beautiful moment. But that's sort of the truth behind why a lot of these fighters do this, and you really respect them for that. So luckily, we haven't really had many issues having fighters open up. A lot of them, the last fighter we filmed last week actually has more mental PTSD. He openly shared about that and how that's sort of affected his life, and he had kind of a downward spiral. But then through jiu-jitsu, it's kind of helped him get his life back together, and so that's really, really, I think a lot of people can connect if they are dealing with certain things. I think this is a great platform for that.
Where and when can these people watch the show?
So you can watch it on the El Rey Network. The show's called Bushido Battleground. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram as well, Bushido Battleground. Right now it's airing at 10 p.m. I believe we've aired 4 episodes. We have a total of 20 episodes, and then we'll continue showing them come the new year. So we're just kind of giving a preview and then really shooting right after that.